Weekend Gaming, The Witcher 3 gets new DLC. What is going on with that? Media Molecule is apparently making a new game. The Steam Deck is now amongst writ, and Bungie is in trouble. This is the Nerd Cave News, and I am one of your illustrious hosts, Zach Dykes, joined by my good friend and co-host, Derek Daniel. Derek, glad to have you back. Glad that you're feeling better this week.
Back from the dead.
Man, I missed you last week. I know everybody else missed old John Stevenson being here. But man, glad to have you back this week.
Glad to be back, and I hate that I missed it, but I got sick. It wasn't like anything severe, but it was like I felt like dog crap. So I'm just like, yeah, I'm not gonna be able to sit through the show. Plus, you know, my AC locked up, so I woke up in the middle of the night in like sweats. I was already like kind of not feverish, but had like a little bit running hot temp than normal, so yeah. It was no bueno.
So you're pretty much saying you didn't have the energy to deal with my nonsense. That's what you're trying to tell me.
Exactly. Like I didn't have the energy. Like I tried. I went to worked my full shift, and I was just like, okay, cool. Popped some Dayquil and whatnot. I'm like, okay, cool.
Some more tabs.
Feel all right. I feel all right. I'm just going to brush past that. Just see how I feel. And then I got home, I sat down, I decompressed, and it was just like hit me. I'm like, oh, yeah. Nope, can't do it, dog.
I literally said, hey man, do you need a care package? And you're like, I'm good. I have OJ. And I'm like, how is orange juice fixing this problem, Derek?
Because it's giving me vitamin C. It's boosting my immune system, sir. That's what Dayquil and orange juice is what gets me through. And that's why I'm better.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
look. I have to confess something. Like that I didn't text you. Like when you sent me that text, by the way, I thought it was like an automated like AI message. The way it was worded, because it was just like, man, I hate that you're feeling bad. Like it was like, sorry you're feeling bad. And then it was like a repeat kind of like, I hate that you're feeling bad. You want me to send you a care package? And this man has never said that sentence to me. And I'm just like, did he just auto-respond me right now? Like, it felt very AI.
Hey, dude, you're totally fine. Get to feeling better, man. I hate that you're feeling under the weather. Is there anything I can do to help? You need a care package. There was no repeat in this text, Derek.
It just felt like, I feel better. I hate that you're feeling bad. Like, it just felt like, I was like, okay.
So one thing that I've been doing, okay, is instead of typing, I literally just say to my phone now. I've got like a way better like voice to text thing called Whisper Flow, and I literally just hit my phone start, and then Derek sucks. Yep. I would try it one more time. It got it, but it said, and then Derek sucks. But yeah. So that might be why it felt a little weird.
Yeah, probably. I'm just like, did Zach just hit me with AI? Am I about to put him on blast next week when I come back?
I did not hit you with AI. Cheeseburger said, is that Black Jack? It's not the first time that I've been compared to Jack Black, and I'll take it every time. If I could have Jack Black's money, I would. I'd be good. Yeah,
just like I was good. He had the sick brain. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Derek's always had a sick brain, so.
More way. If only you knew. Just saying. You saying you had Jack Black's money. People call me Seth Rogen. I wish I had his money too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, true. True. Well, welcome everybody into the stream. Let us know how you are doing. Hopefully you're feeling good, fancy free. It's almost the freaking weekend, baby. I'm about to have me some fun. But before we do that, Derek, let's talk about what we've been playing. And Derek, did you get around with, your OJ in hand? You got your NyQuil. You feeling good? You getting slizzard?
Oh God, no! Let's not bring that terrible song back.
It was a good song.
Uh,
Pop bottles
any
in the pie like a blizzard and getting slizzard. Something to
Slizzards.
the G6 or whatever it was.
Feeling so fly like a G6.
Yeah, yeah. See,
Anyway,
yeah.
I actually have two games that I want to talk about. One I did start. I talked about it a couple weeks ago about me downloading it. I played some Dying Light. Finally
Mm,
got into that. I mean, now it doesn't look. When I say it looks dated, I mean for like a game that came out in like the early, well, around the early stages of the PS4 life cycle. This game came out January of 2015, so it's an 11-year-old game.
yeah.
So it don't look as crisp as some of the game, like especially coming off of Expedition 33. But it's not, it still holds up somewhat well. Um, I do like the gameplay a lot. Like just pretty much like running, doing stunts, like jumping from roof to rooftop, doing parkour stuff. Get you experience that way. Doing combat gets you experience once you unlock that ability. And then what? There was like a third thing um, that you do, but like you gained experiences. Like it opens up different skill trees for you to
Yeah.
upgrade. And then of course, I unlocked like blueprints, and of course, like since the game's 11 years old and has so much DLC, it gives you like a bunch of DLC blueprints right off the bat. So I immediately unlocked a machete that does an electric shock every time, because the human enemies, believe it, obviously in a lot of other zombie games, are a lot tougher, at least in
Than
the
the
initial, like
actual
when you first
zombies.
face them, because I'm just slicing away at zombies, left and right, giving them concussions and whatnot. Humans, it's like they block, they kick you back. I'm like, dude, okay, and they kept blocking me. Finally, I just got my modded one with the electric shock, and it like torched the whole group. And I'm like, okay, this is how I beat them, because they're kicking my butt. However, I experienced the first night, like the first night time, like I venture out, try to, go above and beyond, and
Yeah.
try and do the right thing. And I got stuck in Nightfall, and these like super zombies are no joke. Like
Yeah.
I'm definitely under leveled. Like I'm thinking I'm outrunning them, and they're just like ah.
They're like
They're
on
just
your
hitting you
left.
exactly. So thankfully, when you get to a safe zone, they don't follow you. So that's a blessing. Um, Outside of that, the story, of course, you're like an undercover agent, and of course, like the corporation you work for, like the service you work for, is missing some vital documents regarding to like the disease,
Yeah.
and they think that where they drop you at has them. And eventually it's just pretty much like a refugee base, and you find out like, okay, like yeah, they don't trust you because you're the newbie, obviously that whole trope. But once you start proving yourself, you find out it's like, oh, they don't have it, but this Reyes guy, who I think is like ends up being the main villain of the game, might have it. So you
Yeah.
start like I left off where you're setting up a meeting with Reyes. I
Mm.
have to tell you though, like if it wasn't for the gameplay, like the story's all right so far. The guy you play as, Kyle Crane, stiff as a board. Like his like dialogue and delivery is just like it was like something they were talking about. It was like, oh, I'll help, and I'm like, first of all, calm down. Why are you volunteering? Or why are you shouting?
Is he a
Like, why are
pick
you
me
yelling?
girl? It sounds like a pick me
Something
girl.
like that. Like, well, the agency he's working for is like, oh, get in. Like, you got to make this happen, because like every so often, like you'll jump on a rooftop, and then like you'll put in like a secret code and communicate with the agency you're working for,
Yeah.
and they'll tell you, oh, you have to do this or you have to do that.
Mm.
So, because the reason you have to set up with Reyes is you have this like antigen that suppresses the symptoms of the virus,
Yeah.
and that's what staves off from you turning. And the last one is like was the military drops like 2 care packages like a day, or
Mm.
like maybe a week or something like that, of like a bunch of antigen, but Reyes keeps taking it and basically strong arming anybody who's trying to do it, like to buy from him instead of just like getting it for free. So that finally comes to it, and the agency tells you on this run, says destroy the antigen, so that way you force a meeting with Reyes. So I'm like, okay, but still, like
I'm
the
sure
main,
he's not going to be mad.
right, exactly.
You know,
So
never
he's
going to
like,
be mad.
you finally wised up and have to come to me. So it's like Thanos in Endgame. It's like, Where did that? You couldn't deal with your own failure, and where did that lead you? Back to me. So, um,
So you're talking about like, because I know the parkour is a huge part of the
yes,
game. That was like one of the big selling points. Would you say, Derek, that you're stunting on them fools?
yeah, in a way, because I did learn. I did do one of the last abilities I learned was a drop kick or like a slide kick. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, now I'm dropping it like it's hot.
Can you say I be stunting on them fools for me?
Stunting like my daddy.
So you've been playing Dying Light. You won't give me my thing that I want from you. You've been playing Dying
No.
Light. Have you been playing anything else?
Yes, I actually, because I forgot that I forgot in the moment that it came out last week. I played a new game, Forza Horizon 6, a one that I've been waiting. Obviously,
Ooh.
this is the one that goes to Japan.
Yep.
And this is the first Forza Horizon game that I played. I played like an old motorsport back in the day that just goes race to race. This one is, of course, driving game. And of course, in the beginning, now I'm doing this again. I say this is the first Horizon game. So if everyone does that, if every game starts off this way, just indulge me for a minute because obviously I know no better. But it starts you off. They give you three different types of cars that you start off in just to kind of get the feel of the vehicle, because they give you like a off road, like not a monster truck, but like an off road Jeep or whatever it is, to like, because you start off on a main road in a regular car, then it transitions you to like a snowy mountain terrain in like an off road vehicle to get you used to that kind of environment, and then it ends by you driving more like a sedan in like a countryside, giving you like different scenery, different like just car trucks, just getting you used to the feel, because you can
Mm.
have sliders. You pretty much play with the sliders, see how much control you want to give, or like how much you want to just do like automatic and manual, how much you want to let the game take over for you in your driving style versus how much you want to control it, and that determines how much experience like you get, like the multiplier that you kind of get for your experience. And of course, all the stunts and tricks that you do, like the near misses, like the even if you like destroy some of the like the road, like some of like the like guardrails, it'll give you like the landscape XP or whatever that. So you gain XP by doing everything in the game. But then it lets you finally come to Japan, and of course you're in like the heart of Tokyo. You see Shibuya Crossing, and then of course your anime instincts just take over, man.
Do you see a
And
KFC there?
I haven't run into a KFC yet. Not
I
to say that
doubt
I
I
haven't.
doubt that there will be, but
Right.
that's where the bros break up.
Oh yeah, true. So, um, and of course, like once it lets you start driving, of course, immediately it's like you drive past, you see the map, and it's a huge map. You drive through like, of course, like a little island, over bridges. They give you a bunch of different terrains to hit, and of course, there's collectibles galore, like garages with old vintage cars, and you can leave. Like they start you off with some cars already, and of course, if you have like certain packages or whatever from previous games, or like Game Pass or whatever, they give you like I got the cover car from Forza Horizon 2, was to start off with. I think it's like a Lambo or whatever. And you could gift cars in your inventory in the garage for like new players who start off, or like players who discover that garage. So it's not empty.
Mm.
Um, and then you give it a while for them to spruce it up, like fix it, repair it, and then you can take it for a test drive. And of course, the cars you gain are like, you have XP meters, you gain that, and they have skill trees, so you can upgrade that car as well. Now, especially if you like a certain car, you can upgrade it and make it better improvements, better tuning, all that kind of thing. But the exploration, man, because of course there's collectibles too. Like there's like I saw like, what was it, like 20 different like little pinpoints. I'm like, well, what are these? Ah, these are your collectibles in this part of the game. It's like Kibidongo. And then of course you go to like more of a countryside, you see like peas, like smiling peas or whatever. It's
That's
basically
cool.
very Japanese heavy. One of the things I want to point out is the radio. Within the first hour of playing, I heard two anime songs immediately. It was one of the, I think it was opening. it's either the first or the second opening in Oshinoko, and then I heard the iconic that took over 2024 of Mashal, opening to season 2, the bling blum bum bum, like that
Yeah.
that little song. I heard that, it was like I'm recognizing, like, oh, we in here. This is definitely Japan. They're embracing everything in this culture. And then, of course, there are like story beats. Now, of course, like the overall story is like you're just being part of the Horizon Festival, participating in those events, getting the wristbands, all that kind of thing. But there is like little side stories that you can go on, like the girl who's like one of the main narrator of the story, or like the storyteller of the game, that brings you and a buddy out there to this festival. One of the first ones you come across is, oh, like a tour of Japan, and it's like the first one is just sightseeing. Like, of course, you go Shibuya Crossing, you go down like this street of just nothing but trees that turn into cherry blossoms in the spring, like just beautiful venues, talking about like Tokyo Tower, all that kind of stuff, like just hitting the high points. And the second one is more like a countryside, but it turns into a race, and you're trying to like turn into a new car, but it feels like you just have to finish it, because a lot of objectives in the beginning are just like finish the race. Like, of course, you get more stuff if you finish first, but of course,
Yeah.
just finishing the race is the main objective. But this one is like, feels like I was close. Like, I thought I was pretty close, like, to finish it. I was like right there, and then it's like, oh, tough competition in this group, blah blah, and it's like kept making me repeat, so I went away from that. But another side job you can get is like there are food stalls, or like restaurants that you can be like like Uber Eats in Japan,
Hmm.
and just like do it. And there's certain objectives, like, of course, they give you 10 minutes to get to the restaurant for the pickup order, right? And then you have to hit this length in so much time. You have to get delivered to the customer in X amount of time, but you also can't bring in damaged products. So of course they have a damage meter. So, but the truck they give you is pretty boss. Like, it's easy to handle. Like, I'm bobbing and weaving in and out. I'm just like, Dom Toretto would be proud.
So you're saying to me, Derek, that
Mhm.
you're playing a watered down version of Death Stranding right now?
Kind of.
Delivering food, you know what I mean? I'm just saying. I'm
Yeah.
just saying.
Oh, the last one I did, because you have to, like, the first one was like do 3 jobs. The third one was you had to deliver ice cream, but you had to deliver fast. Now, they didn't have a damage meter, but you couldn't drive below 80 miles an hour. Now, they give you a grace period. Like, they give you 20 seconds to get back up to 80 miles an hour, because you have to take turns, and you might hit somebody on the way. You know what I mean? But you have to keep a constant 80-mile-an-hour speed, otherwise the ice cream will melt.
Hmm.
So it is, and I left off on like going to my first Horizon event, because I was just exploring, like just
Yeah.
taking it all in, seeing what it does. So I am really enjoying Forza Horizon 6. Obviously, one of the main reasons I wanted to do it was because it went to Japan, and of course I know that kind of interested you as well. Just because we're weebs, we like our anime. Why not? If we can't afford a trip to Japan, we'll go there in other ways.
Exactly. Now, are you playing this on Game Pass, or did you get it on PlayStation?
Game Pass.
Nice. And I was talking to my coworker today, and he has a whole like sim racing like station. Like, he's spent some crazy money on this thing. And we were talking, I was like, have you played Forza Horizon 6 yet? He's like, oh yeah, man. He's like, it's beautiful. And he's got like 3 monitors, so you're like sitting in the car and like all of this kind of stuff. So keep tuned. We might have something to do with that setup at a different date. But yeah, I'm pretty stoked about it. So
he's just going to use it to ride his motorcycle in Death Stranding.
Maybe. You can't fault me, because Death Stranding is amazing. Before I get into my stuff, Nate says Shibuya Gojo's been sealed.
Yeah.
Nate also says, I picked up Final Fantasy Remake Intergrade back up. Hopefully that's going well for you. I know I started 7, but I never played more than like an hour or 2. Joe says it was a nice 3-day weekend and a short work week. Yeah, Agreed.
Yeah.
I feel like the week has still been longer than I want it to be. I got to read this because, Derek, I don't know if you've heard about our Lord and Savior, Dungeon Crawler Carl, but this is the AI from Dungeon Crawler Carl. New achievement. You've got your party member back. Reward? Nothing. What do you want? He's your friend. He's bound to return.
Facts. Sounds like something. Sounds like something that would be in a free run.
Yeah, dude. Dungeon Crawler Carl is amazing. I hope that they've done like a graphic novel of like the first book or whatever. It would be awesome to get like a anime of it. I think that would be really cool, or an animated version of it. But if it's animated or anime, I know you'll actually watch it. So
fair.
As long as it's not on Netflix, you don't watch anything on Netflix.
I watched Moonrise on Netflix.
Moonrise.
You know, that great recommendation from you back in the day.
Hey, at least the first few episodes were cool, and then it just went after that, you know. But it wasn't bad to start off with. So I'll give you that. What I've been playing, Derek, I played some more Alan Wake 2. And man, I feel like this is something that people missed out on, that like I feel like I'm playing like older games mostly. Like I know Death Stranding was like last year, or Death Stranding 2 was, but jumping into Death Stranding, jumping to Alan Wake 2, like these are a little bit older games. But dude,
brother, I just said
good.
I played an 11-year-old game with Dying Light. Like you,
True.
Like you're preaching to the choir here.
True. And it's like I'm really digging this game. The way that this team has just really made it interesting, and the storytelling beats where you have literally like two, not perpendicular, not parallel, like they're intersecting, and like they're kind of like weaving themselves in. It looks more like a DNA strand than like where it's like what's happening in the story world is like having effect on the real world, and then like doing this detective work, and then when you're Alan Wake, he's like writing the story, so it's like, okay, if I write the story this way, it gets me closer to my goal. And it's like you got to make it even more messed up, and it's like you got to figure out the beats that you like. And then it's like once you get to the really messed up stuff, which is like really dark and just disturbing, it's like, oh, that's when the darkness is trying to murder you and chasing you down and everything. But it's like you're able to like wiggle your way out of things because like you're writing and all of this kind of stuff. It's just fantastic. Like it is such a beautiful game on console, on the Portal. Like it looks great the whole time, and just the way that they're like bringing in elements of like the last game to this game, but it's like you don't have to play the last game to know what's going on in this one necessarily. Right. But dude, the acting, the music, just like I was playing, and like I'm sitting on the couch, Amy's sitting on the couch as well, and I'm playing, and then like a jump scare happens. I'm like, oh my god! And she's like, you okay? And I'm like, yeah, sorry. I was like, you know, this old woman literally like jumped out and scared the crap out of me. But it keeps you on your toes and everything. And then there's the moments where it's like it eases off, and you're like, you feel safe for a few minutes, and you're just like, oh, okay, yeah, cool. And then and then you're right back into it. So the pacing is just fantastic. I'm enjoying every minute that I get to be with that game. And then Tuesday night, I beat the Paintress. So we're finally there, and like all the reveal of like the family and all of that, like saw all of those things, and now went back into the paint.
I will be asking you off of off air, like more in depth, but just I've been waiting for you to get that reveal before like going into Act 3.
Yeah.
And because that was my one deterrent. I don't want to say it was like the one negative, but it was like the one deterrent because it was like that trope. I was just like, I don't know how to feel about this because it's like, I mean, when you think about it more in the long term of the why, it's like, okay, I kind
Yeah.
of understand it, but at the same time, the whole in that moment where the reveal happens, it's like I don't know how to feel about this. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Like from the end of that fight until you're back in, I was kind of like, I don't know how to feel. And I feel like it felt like it was, I kind of got bamboozled a little bit.
I
If
am
that make
glad I am
Yeah.
validated in my thought process
Yeah. I
because
was like,
I thought it was just me.
no, I was like, I didn't feel like it wasn't earned, but it
Yeah,
was like there was enough where it was like, okay, I feel like Verso and Gustav, there's like a juxtaposition there. And then Mael and Alicia, like I felt like there was a juxtaposition there as well.
hmm,
But it was just like I don't know where we're going. You know what I mean? Like it never like
yeah,
really solidified that storytelling element. And then it was like, oh, now we're going to do all of that. And it was like, but we could have been like, I know I'm knocking a game that literally won game of the year here, but
I
it's like
know.
everybody
Multiple
can,
game of the years.
yeah, it's like you can always improve. I just felt like the storytelling structure, like we ramped up to this big fight, and
Yes.
then that big fight was like, oh, well, actually, this, and it was
Yeah.
like, okay, I don't
Yeah.
mind it's like we beat him before the big fight, and it was like, okay, I feel like that should have like, but it just felt very hollow and
Yeah.
bamboozly, and
Yeah.
yeah, I'm
Well, and
glad that
I mean, like to justify our thought process on it, it's like, yeah, I mean, it didn't win Game of the Year that year, but Red Dead Redemption 2, right? Like, I always go back to this. It's like you hate to not like you want to always be a part of that conversation with big game releases, right?
yep,
But like Greg Miller talked about and I had the same like thought process as him because I tried Red Dead 2 for several hours as well. It just didn't resonate with me, and I hate it because
yeah,
it was like so hyped up. Like it's like you're coming off of the success of essentially the success of GTA 5, and it's like you want to play the next big thing from
mm-hmm,
Rockstar, who just prints money, and it doesn't resonate with you, and that's okay. Not every game is for you.
yep,
Like you're like to use an example from you, like you love Sea of Stars, but a lot of people don't play it because it's like an indie game, and that's taboo to a lot of people. People are like, I only want to play like the big blockbuster games. I'm like, that's okay. In the grand scheme, that's not a terrible thing. That's your opinion. At the same time, don't just do it to be edgy.
yeah,
Also, you know what I mean? Like, have an informed opinion, but again, we're okay. Like, we can love. Like, I mean, God of War, both of our like especially the Norse duology, favorite franchise of all time in our opinion.
yeah,
But especially the originals, like going back to the original trilogy, like as much as we love it, there are flaws. It's not perfect. Like it got us there, and even with the Norse duology, there are things in there that we both can, if we wanted to nitpick stuff that we didn't care for either. So it's okay to not like everything about a game.
yeah, 1,000%. And like I want to see where we land on the story. Hopefully Act 3 is way shorter than Act 2, because I'm
It it
definitely
it is.
okay, because I'm definitely at the point where it's like I just want the game done.
Yeah.
It's like I'm like I'm enjoyed my stay here, but I'm ready to go home. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
when you're like on vacation and it's like, okay, I'm ready to go sleep in my own bed. That's
Yeah.
definitely how I feel. And even like people watching, like I'm so thankful for the people that come and like watch me play and hang out with me on Tuesdays and everything. But I can tell people are like, yeah, I'm ready for a new game. Like, you know what I mean? So it's just like, okay, like I'm ready to move on as well. And there are a lot of great games that have just come out, which I definitely want to talk about as well with you, with like James Bond actually like reviewing really well.
That
Even like
surprised me. I'm like,
I'm just like mind boggled at that. And even the people like that I watch that are like more the naysayers, the ones that kind of like ground. It's like you've got like the IGN, the kind of funny, which I love those people, but then you've got the ones that like just crap on everything. And they're like, yeah, it's actually really good. And I'm like, okay. I was like, hold up, wait a minute. I'm like, what's going on here? Are you actually telling me this? So excited about that. And then Lego Batman looks great as well. So
Yeah.
a lot of good stuff. But that's what I've been playing. We got some comments in here that I wanted to hit that of people have been playing as well. Nate says, I've been playing Emerald on the handheld emulator. I've been working through all the old the Pokemans. Michael says, went back to finish Final Fantasy VIII on Steam. Jack has gotten really into Pokemon, so I'm taking him through Pokemon games on an emulator. That's awesome.
Did you start him off on the original, or where did you start him off at? I'm kind of curious.
Yeah, I am curious as well. Joe says, I've been playing...
what starter did he pick? Because that's also important.
True. Joe says, I've been playing Assassin's Creed 2 again. I just got a couple of trophies away from Platinum. Let's go.
Nice. You know, Zach, I will admit, speaking of Assassin's Creed, I never played the original.
Okay.
I might really get by Resynced, just saying.
Dude, I've been over here. I'm like, I feel like everything that we are just like, this is crap. Like, I'm glad that we're wrong in a way, because it's like, okay, good. We're getting good games. Cause I was like, both of us were like, First Light 007 is going to be absolute trash because they showed it so poorly.
Correct.
And it was just like, okay, this is
and
not
then they
would
show like Randy Kravitz, and we're like, what is going on here?
Randy Kravitz? Who is Randy Kravitz, Derek?
Wait.
Lenny Kravitz?
Sorry, I am so sorry. Lenny Kravitz.
Randy,
I got the last name right.
Give me an art on Randy Kravitz.
It'll be like Randy Savage did a fusion dance with Lenny Kravitz.
Oh yeah. But I'm on the same dude. I'm kind of actually getting a little excited about Resynced, like everything that I'm seeing. And the people that went previewed it.
Like there's going to be different end game missions with a pirate hunter. They're going to do like a what if scenario with instead of the modern day with Edward Kenway. I'm like, huh? Like, okay, this is intriguing. Like, because I know like one of the turnoffs of the original Black Flag was, oh, you're an Abstergo employee that just sits behind a desk and you investigate pretty much what the events like happened after AC3. I'm just like, okay, this is, and like the gameplay is very like hollow and just straightforward. It feels like you're on rails. I'm like, okay, I don't care for this part, but all these changes and like just the look of it, this is like in a true like remaster. Like it seems like Ubisoft took a page from Oblivion and like some of these other games that did like really great remakes, and it's like, hey, how about we do this with actually a beloved game?
Yeah, it feels like how Final Fantasy VII like took what was amazing about it and then like added some new things to like really flesh it out into what a game is today. And of course, much larger from Final Fantasy VII to the remake and everything. But dude, I'm stoked, and I'm like, I hate being stoked for a Ubisoft game.
I know. And that's the catch-22. It's like I don't want to give Ubisoft money, but dang it, they're pulling me in, and it's like I think what turned me was like playing through all of Origins last year. You know what I mean? Like taking all that time to play through the base game and like playing a game that I missed out on that people like just raved about, like you included. And I really enjoyed it every minute I played of that game, and the DLCs included. So I'm just like, maybe do I give Assassin's Creed another shot? Like, of course, like I'm not going to go back and play Valhalla, like obviously, because that's just not worth my time. Like, but I'm still keeping Shadows in the back of my mind, and then like Hexy, like of course, like I like the little witchcraft scenario, like the whole like the witch trials and everything that'll be kept in the corner of my mind too. But it's like, dang, can Ubisoft bring me back into the Assassin's Creed? Like, it's crazy.
It might. Like I do think Mirage looked interesting in it being a smaller contained story,
Yeah.
and I've got it on like a PlayStation like Plus or whatever, so it's like
Right.
I could play it, but it's like I'm not gonna. It's like when you go to a concert, it's like you sometimes you want to listen to the person before you get there or whatever, like getting hyped up and everything. But then there's times where you just like you want to just go and like I haven't listened and it's like I just want the experience and everything.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel that with this. Nate says Randy Travis and Lenny Kravitz.
Oh man.
Do you know who Randy Travis is, Derek?
I do remember that. I don't remember what he does, but I recognize the name Randy Travis.
Randy Travis was I think he's still alive. He was a country music singer back in the day. Yeah, this is him right here, Randy Travis. And apparently he's got a vent show. If y'all want to go see Randy Travis, August 21st, he's going to be in Georgia Mountain Fair. But forever and ever, amen. Deeper than a holler. 3 Wooden Crosses. That's a sad song, but it's really good. Yeah. Anyway, that's Randy Travis. Okay, he lost his voice. Okay, I thought something was going on. Amy, Randy Kravitz, don't insult the legend Lenny Kravitz like that. Ooh, you got some fighting words up in here.
I know. I've been off for a week. Amy hasn't thrown the heat my way, so.
Oh, it's here now. It's here now.
I know. She's got some pent up anger. She's got to throw toward my way.
Anytime Witch Hatatilia comes up, she's like, "That Derek."
Oh, by the way, that's it's so good.
So good.
I know it's gonna be 13 episodes, so we've only got like I think 4 episodes left, but we cooking.
Yeah, we cooking.
And I know she's about to go. I told you, Derek. See, I told you.
Michael responded, "Yellow." That's a good one. Yeah. That's the one that I started
Pikachu.
with.
So now, Jack's living out his Ash Ketchum life.
Okay, so he said that he was playing on the emulator, so it's not the Hey You Pikachu version, which is I like the Hey You Pikachu one. The OG one's my favorite though.
Yeah, same.
Amy, don't know Randy Travis? Even I know him.
Here we go. His teeing off. Ding.
Yeah. Derek, I don't know what to say. Guys, we've talked a lot already.
Yeah.
We're
Holy cow.
40 minutes into this show when we haven't even touched the news. But let's jump into it this week. First up for the gaming discussion, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt is getting new DLC after 10 plus years, and this is by Wesley Poole at IGN.
So, CD Projekt Red has announced a third expansion to The Witcher 3 called Songs of the Past. The DLC is due out in 2027, 12 years after the 60 million selling The Witcher 3 came out in 2015, and 11 years after the second expansion, Blood and Wine, which came out in 2016. The Witcher 3's first expansion, Heart of Stone, was released in October of 2015. In a note to press, CD Projekt said it is co-developing the expansion with Fool's Theory, a team comprising of, quote, industry veterans who worked on The Witcher 3. More details on Songs of the Past will be released in late summer of this year. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt Songs of the Past first details were revealed. Songs of the Past is the third expansion coming out for the game. It will launch in 2027 on the PS5, Series X and S, and PC. CD Projekt Red is co-developing Songs of the Past with Fool's Theory, and Songs of the Past will return players to the role of legendary monster slayer Geralt of Rivia for a brand new adventure when it launches on next year on the consoles I said earlier. While further DLC for The Witcher 3 is now confirmed to be in development, CD Projekt Red has ruled out more DLC for Cyberpunk, suggesting fans will indeed have to wait for Cyberpunk 2 to return to its much-loved dystopian universe. And the wait looks like it's going to be significant. Cyberpunk 2 is further behind The Witcher 4, and CD Projekt co-CEO Michael Nowakowski has suggested Cyberpunk 2 won't be out until at least 2030. So, Zach, this was, of course, a surprise. Of course, They had the Witcher 3 anniversary stream the other day, and they were supposed the rumors were they were going to announce it during the stream, but I guess it got leaked, and they were just like, all right, cool, let's just talk about it now, let's just get it out in the open, and what have you. And there were rumblings about a month ago about them doing something like doing a new expansion for The Witcher 3. And as we've seen with, of course, every iteration of The Witcher keeps getting better and better. Of course, like there was the base game, which only was PC, and then the second one came to Xbox 360 and PC, and people started to take note of the franchise. And then 3 just blew the doors off and just like got everyone into the series. There were people cosplaying as Geralt all the time. Like we've got a Netflix series out there now. I know it's not what it used to be, but I digress. And the game was fantastic. I mean, you could spend 300 hours and not do everything in that game. Of course, like they had leveled areas that they didn't tell you about. You would come into a spider lair with a skull and crossbones, just telling you you're going to die a quick death. And then the DLC came out, and like Hearts of Stone wasn't bad. It just wasn't it was the first iteration. But Blood and Wine, I know everyone talked about as like great DLC. It was like almost could have been Witcher 3.5 essentially because of how much they added in that game. And then let's not forget the amount of free stuff they put in Witcher 3 as well. And so them coming out with a new expansion 11 years, well, it'll be 12 years by the time the DLC drops after the initial base game launch. It's going to be incredible. It just shows that CD Projekt knows what they have in their hands. This is essentially their GTA of their studio, that they want to give the love and care, and that's why we're getting Witcher 4. And I know Cyberpunk, it had its rocky start, but it fixed out, it ironed out a lot of the issues, and Nights. What was the DLC? It wasn't called Night City. That's because that's the place Phantom Liberty. Thank you.
Yeah.
Phantom Liberty really set it off as well. So, and if anything, CD Projekt Red knows how to do DLC expansions really well. Yeah. So I'm excited for where this goes, how it evolves the story. Will it kind of bridge the gap a little bit more between 3 and 4? It seems like CD Projekt Red is getting back to their flow. Like they took their lumps on the chin with Cyberpunk initially, and now they've ironed it out, and now it's like, we back, baby.
Yeah, and they came out talking about it's like this is an expansion, not a DLC. And it literally
it's like almost the same thing. Like it's semantics.
Just to be clear, it's not DLC, it's an expansion. You know why? Because we do expansions, big, massive, monster. We don't do DLCs, and when we do, we give them away. So if songs of the past an expansion, then we're safe to assume it will be, as Elba puts it, big, massive monster. But other CD Projekt developers have chimed in. So how big do you think this is going to be? Do you think this is going to be like Phantom Liberty, where it is literally, like 5 to 8 hours worth of gameplay that we're getting out of this?
I want to go back and see how long Blood and Wine was, like the main story of that, because I think they'll blow that out of the water. I think honestly it will be like if they're talking about expansion, I think it'll be a sizable piece of content. Ooh. because it's coming out next year. That means Witcher 4 at best case scenario won't come out until 2028.
Yeah.
And maybe fall 2027, maybe if we're doing pie in the sky, but let's just shoot for 2028. So I think they want to give people a reason to be tied over to get excited for the lead, because I think they'll drop the DLC and then do a bunch. Let's just say they drop it no later than, because I know The Witcher 3 dropped originally in May of 2015. Let's just say they drop it in May, and then Summer Game Fest leading all the way up to like Game Award, all through Game Awards, they do hype. They just create the marketing, the hype trailers for Witcher 4, and they say, boom, Q1, Q2 of 2028, Witcher 4 is dropping. So I think they want to start with that expansion and then just build off of that to lead up to Witcher 4. So I think it'll be a sizable piece of content, because if they're not going to drop it until Witcher 4 till a year later, you want to give them a nice size chunk to hold them over. So I think it won't be hundreds of hours. I think it'll be
Well, let me
Maybe
give you the
30.
number for you.
Okay,
It's
go ahead. Go ahead.
Blood and Wine was 15 to 40 plus hours. Most people are getting it 15 to 20 hours to complete it, but you could take up to 40 hours.
Oh, then that justifies my ruling. I think it'll be 30 hours. I think it'll be 30 hours, probably plus.
Yeah.
So I think because it's been so long since, now obviously, yeah, people still play it and all that, but I think to get you back into the mechanics, I think they have to make it worth your weight and not just like blow through the story. So I think
Yeah.
they'll want to get you back. It'll almost be like a Witcher 3 retelling, essentially.
Yeah.
Kind of, sort of, not really, but I think 30 hours will be the target for for just a story. That's not including all the side content you get to do.
Well, because I know they did like a version that came out recently. I want to say. By the way, you can get Witcher 3 Wild Hunt on PlayStation for $9.99 right now, so you can save 80%. Offer ends June 11th. Everybody, so if you want to get that for PlayStation, I'm not sure if it is available
I think
anywhere
that's part of their
else.
days of play sale, baby.
Yeah, yeah. So just saying, everybody, you could get this and check it out now.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So
on the cheap, because
Yeah.
all these games expensive now.
oh yeah, we got a lot to talk about on that tonight with Valve doing Valve things. But yeah, so I think this is awesome. I think that getting new content for this and already having multiple expansions on this is going to get people into buying the game that didn't buy it the first time, or oh yeah, I was playing it because I remember playing Witcher 3. I never finished it. I played a little bit of it, and it just, I don't know, like I think it was the time and place, because I remember Arkham Knight came out the same time as Witcher 3.
Yep.
And it was like, that was what I cared about. I cared about that. And then we got Batgirl DLC, all this kind of stuff. And I was all about Arkham Knight, which, clearly Witcher 3 is held a lot faster than Arkham Knight did. But I cared more about that. So even though I had both games, that was the game that I was prioritizing at that point. So maybe this is I think this is a good way to get people like excited getting the game, and then they're ready for the expansion when it comes out next year. And then of course priming people for Witcher 4 when it does come out. And I agree with you. 2028 does feel like the right time. Do we see new consoles by that time? I don't know. Hopefully not, because who can freaking afford it? Nate says, I still haven't finished Witcher 3 on Steam. Got all 3 Witchers for $12 in 2021. There you go.
Wow.
I keep going back. Maybe I'll finish it one day. I remember playing Witcher 1 on Tyler Arcari's PC back in college for a little bit. A little name pull for you. I literally have that PC. That was my first ever PC I bought. I bought it off of him for like $500. And it's literally sitting right beside me. I'm not using it. It's a piece of junk now. But I remember I was like, man. And he was going to buy a new PC. I was like, oh man, I'll buy it for me. And like, I'll give you $500. And played Star Wars: The Old Republic on it. It's good times, y'all. Good times. Yeah. So I think it's going to be awesome. I think, CD Projekt Red is definitely on a, okay. Yeah. They put out a free next gen update. That's what it was that I was thinking about for it. So if I could play remote play supported PS Cloud streaming. Oh boy. Oh,
we in there.
We in there, baby. We in there. It's yeah, Derek. Look at this. Look at this right here. PS5 cloud streaming supported. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Remote play. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Zach is gonna find his next off-stream game after he finishes Death Stranding 2.
I feel like I'm being pretty good about like picking games to like play off stream. Like I'm more satisfied about like my gaming than I have been in a very long time off
That's fair.
stream. Because most of the time it was like I only played when I was on stream. So I feel much
Correct.
happier. Feel much happier.
Yeah.
Derek, let's talk about a PlayStation developer, and that is Media Molecule. Media Molecule's next game details have been teased, apparently, and this is by Cade Onder over at IGN.
So Sony's first-party studio, Media Molecule, is reportedly working on a brand new game with open-world elements. As reported by MP First, information about the Little Big Planet and Dreams Studios' next project comes from the resume of a current Media Molecule employee. The resume notes that the studio is working on an unannounced project which will feature, quote, open-world content. Fans have longed for a return to Little Big Planet, but it doesn't seem like this new project will be another Sackboy adventure. The resume specifically notes that this is a new IP, meaning fans may not want to expect a direct follow-up to the studio's previous work. That doesn't mean something like Little Big Planet will never return, but if the information presented in the resume is accurate, a new entry seems unlikely to arrive soon. There isn't too much else to latch onto in this resume, but it does indicate Media Molecule is going for a larger sense of scale. The studio is best known for Little Big Planet and Dreams, two games that empower the player to create their own experience with in-game tools. So we haven't heard, like, of course, Sumo has been pretty much taking over. Like, I know they did Sackboy's Big Adventure as a PS5 launch title, and they've done, like, of course, Tearaway, Unfolded, and whatnot. Ported the Vita version over to the PS4. I couldn't hear you. What?
I thought you were being facetious for a second there, and then I was like, oh, I am actually muted. I said the Vita lives.
No, it doesn't. It's dead. It's as dead as your mic was there when you said it. So we haven't seen anything from Media Molecule. I know they took 1,000 years to put out Dreams, and then when it came out, the creation tools were the best part, but when they made it story content, people fell flat. Nobody cared. Yep. And we were speculating, we were being pessimistic about how Media Molecule should be the next one to have been axed instead of these other studios that had been axed. But it seems like Sony's giving them, you assume, another shot. Maybe it's the last shot to prove itself. Then I will say, like, as much as I like open world games, this feels like it's not outdated is not the word. Place out of time. Like, it kind of felt like it's 10 years past when open world games were like the big thing. And I know there's still like open world, but it's more like open world RPGs now, like, live service games. And I'm glad they're hopefully not doing a live service game, but them doing an open world game feels very different. It's sort of like when Siphon Filter's the game they did. Bend Studio decided, we're going to do an open world zombie game around the same time that like Last of Us Part 2's coming out and all that. It's like, I don't know, this is not really your MO. And, we've talked about that, the whole shtick ad nauseum, but Media Molecule coming back and finally talking about them like their next project is intriguing because we haven't heard from them since Dreams, and that came out in like 2019. I think the story content dropped the following year in 2020. Maybe I'm getting the dates mixed up, but like Dreams it's been 7-8 years since Dreams came out, and it's time for something new. Like what have they been doing? And maybe we'll see. I don't think it'll be at the State of Play next week. I think it's too early to talk about that. Maybe that we get a tease, like a logo of what they're doing, because Sony did file a trademark for a thing called Break-In, which we all assume is going to be announced at State of Play. So maybe it's a time, probably not. But Zach, what are you thinking? Because I'm thinking that this is Media Molecule's last chance to prove that they can still be among, maybe not the top echelon, but be like around the PlayStation first party studios and be taken seriously.
Yeah, I think this is pooper get off the pot when we have lost Blue Point, with the layoffs and the closure there. And then we see, we put out a little section of last week's show of me talking about all of the old IPs coming back and people commenting. It was like, oh, it would be great to have Blue Point around for this. And I literally brought that up during the segment and everything. Is like, yeah, it would be great to have the best remake studio other than Vicarious Visions, which, hey, guess what? They're gone too. Been absorbed into the Call of Duty engine. But I digress. This, I think, Media Molecule has to deliver. It has to be something that is, I'm thinking, like, if you're going to make it more fun and engaging for younger audiences, it's got to be on the same level as Astrobot. Like, the reason why, like, I know Sackboy did a good job at like PS3 times, but ever since then, Sackboy has not been relevant. It hasn't been that, big of a
It's
push.
been overtaken by Astrobot.
Yeah. And Astrobot, literally, like, people were foaming at the mouth, and it won Game of the Year for a reason. And it's like, okay, we need, if you're going to do something that is creative or more, family oriented or whatever, you've got to make it where it actually can sell units, because Astrobot did really well. People were talking about it. People were raving about it. And it was just a great, fun game. Whereas Dreams, it's like, yeah, this is a cool place for people to experiment on like how to create games, and like people raved about that, but it's like the sales weren't there, and they were given so many opportunities where I feel other studios, like the ones that made Concrete Genie,
Pixel Opus.
Pixel Opus, it's like had an amazing game, something unique, indie kind of style, and they get closed. But we still have Media Molecule sticking around like a bad habit, a hangnail or something like that. And I want them to do well. I hope that they do well. I just think open world is like the entry level at this point. Like, if you're going to make a game, like, open world is just like one of those. It's like, okay, that's just a talking point at this thing. It's not a selling for me. It's like there's a lot of open world games that suck, and then the bar is pretty high on when an open world game is really good. Like, let's just point to frickin' Crimson Desert. It's like, if you want to talk open world games, it's like we got one that, like, it's in the corner just huffing at people. It's just like, you know what I mean? I hope that this is their Guerrilla Games moment where they come out and they reinvent themselves and not slowly peter out. This is their time to put up or shut up. And like, I want a reason why to be like, oh, we're actually wrong. I don't like admitting when we're wrong, but it's like, hey, I'd rather be wrong than all of my predictions that are doom and gloom. Like, I'd much rather have that. I'd much rather have that.
And I'm the same way. It's like, if you guys don't know, I'm very pessimistic when it comes to the games industry. So I know it's crazy, but I love to be proven wrong. And because, I could go down a rabbit hole. I'm not going to, but let me backtrack. Let me ask you a question, is because their bread and butter, and like the article talked about it, both in Little Big Planet and Dreams, was the creation tools. Like, I know Little Big Planet had a story, but it had its own like create a level mode, and that spurred into Dreams. Dreams, like, the creation mode came out first because people know that's what their bread and butter was going to be. Do you think, even if it's going to be even despite being an open world game, there will be some creation aspect, whether it be in the story or they have a separate mode where you can create your own like areas to challenge mode or kind of thing? Do you think that will be, or do you think they will drop that their bread and butter and just basically go for, again, like Ben did with Days Gone, and go ground up, brand new? We're not doing anything. We're not putting our previous DNA from other games in this. We're just starting from scratch.
I think they have to start from scratch, because when you say bread and butter to me, I think of the thing that makes you money. Like, it might not be flashy, it might not be too super technical or whatever, but bread and butter, like, puts, it fills you up. Dreams did not fill anyone up. It did not feel like it was
the bread
something.
Was stale and the butter was moldy.
Yeah, it was like that really stale bread in season 2 of Free Run, where they're
Oh,
like almost breaking their teeth trying to eat it and everything.
sounds like they're eating rocks.
Yeah, that's what we've been getting from Mini Molecule. Like, I understand that they might want to keep some sort of creation thing around,
Mm-hmm.
but anytime I look at most games that have creation suites in them, they're, unless it's a huge, massive game,
Mm-hmm.
they tend to not be super um the adoption rate tends to not be there. Like,
Right.
I think of like Halo 3 when they brought Forge around. The reason why Forge went so crazy in that game is because Halo 3 sold so well.
True.
And it was like, oh, this is something, this is new. But now there's so many games that are out there that allow you to create, allow you to do all of these things. Like, you've got Minecraft that still is super popular. You've got Raft.
Correct.
You've got like so many different games that allow you to create your own kind of thing within their world. It's like, okay, what else are you bringing to the table other than I can create? Because I can create in a lot of other games at this point.
Yeah.
Even Doom, I think it was Doom 2016 or something like that, had like a
Yes,
level
I think.
creator for
Yeah.
like the
Yeah, they
multiplayer.
did.
So it's like you see games try to do that, and even I know Gears of War had like something with like a horde mode where you could like build your own, not like horde
Mm-hmm.
mode, but you could build your own kind of like map or something like that. It's like you put those in there and you want people to adopt it, but that's not really how it works. It's like you're going to have a very
Correct.
slim part of the actual cell base that actually is going to do that. So it's like, don't make your whole gameplay around people being creative, because even to, you know, Nate's point, it's like open world games, like it's easy to get sidetracked. It's easy to
Mm-hmm.
get like inundated, and that's when we start having huge backlogs where we never finish games. And
Correct.
it's like you have to, I've been seeing this kind of phenomenon going around online, just like people talking about their backlogs, and like it's become just like this huge kind of like joke. Like, you know, it's like, oh, I've got this massive backlog. Everybody does, because we feel bad about not finishing games. And it's
Mm-hmm.
easier
Or
to
buying it
buy.
and never even playing it.
Yeah, it's easier to buy a game. You get that kind of like, oh, I bought this game, but you never play it. You know, it's
Yeah.
easier to do that. Same thing with books. Like, I've got so many books behind me, and I've only read a small portion of those books behind me.
Yeah.
So it's like creating this like director's cut. If you're not enjoying a part of the game, can you go through it faster? Can you drop the difficulty during that section? Can you skip it completely and not have to do
Yeah.
it? Do you hate crafting in this game? Unless it's literally a core game mechanic, like in Skyrim, you didn't have to craft, but you could, and you would get so many awesome benefits from it. But if you hated literally hammering out ore, then you didn't have to do it. So I
Mm-hmm.
think they have to reinvent themselves. They have to do what Guerrilla Games did, not what Ben did. Ben tried to reinvent themselves and did it poorly, but Guerrilla Games is the template, not what they're doing right this second with all the stupid versions of Horizon that we're getting right now.
Yeah.
But it's like, you got to have that moment. You got to have a reason to stay around.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming to our TED Talk.
I'm over here. I'm just like thumping the Bible over here. Just
Yep.
as Minecraft, Roblox, Fortnite all have creation aspects, and that's their secondary thing. Yeah. And with Roblox and Fortnite, you can actually make money off of those if you are really
Correct.
serious about it. So, Nate says, I have games in my Steam library I've never touched. Same. I have stuff in my Epic launcher that I never touched, but Epic was just giving games away. Derek
I
from
was gonna
Nerd Cave
say,
News.
I was just gonna say like that Epic launcher, but also like for Steam, to play devil's advocate, sometimes the sales are so good that you're like, I was like you get the whole like Elder Scrolls collection for like $8. I'm just like, who's gonna turn that down? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You get like all, the first 5 games with all the DLC for $8. Like it's a steal. Like to defend that a little bit, I get that part of it though. It's like, oh, Steam games you never touched, but when you see it on sale, you kind of
It's
have
hard
to
to
buy
say.
it at that point.
Yeah, it's hard to say no. Like Ace Combat Fighter 7, I saw on
Yeah.
sale like during winter, and it was like $7. And I was like, yeah, sure. And then like literally January was like, oh, it's gonna be a PlayStation Plus game. And I'm like, dang it.
But you never know.
Yeah, you never know. You never know. You never know. And you know what else you don't know? You don't know what you're missing out right now on by not hitting that like button. If you hit that like button right now, you might become a Super Saiyan. You might get the 6 eyes. You might grow a huge patch of chest hair. Some people might want that, but some people might not want that. You might get DoorDash delivered to your house right this second, and you didn't order anything. But you should hit that like button right now because it helps us keep doing awesome things here on the channel, just like topic 3 tonight, because Valve, they getting greedy, y'all. They getting greedy. They might do sales all the time, but Valve gets into the hardware price increase game, and this is by Wesley LeBlanc over at Game Informer.
If you don't already own a Steam Deck, but do want one, I have some bad news for you. Valve just raised the price by hundreds of dollars, while the LCD version of the deck has been discontinued, but is still great and available secondhand. The OLED 512 gig and 1 terabyte versions are now back in stock, but with increased prices that, quote, reflect the current state of component costs and other global logistical challenges across the industry as a whole, Valve has announced. The 512 gigabyte OLED deck will now cost $789, up from $549, and the 1 terabyte OLED deck will now cost $949, up from $649. That's a $240 and $300 price increase, respectively. That makes yesterday the best time to buy a Steam Deck because these new prices are in effect immediately. This does not inspire confidence in Valve's plans to release the console-like Steam machine this year, despite launching the game controller earlier this month, which it was able to do because the controller does not use RAM, a high-demand, low-supply component that things like the Steam Deck and Steam machine need. Zach, I know you were an early adopter, and now it's like you're sitting there pretty because you're like, this is what being early to market feels like, and you know you might get some kinks, but I will say, for those of you that are early adopters, you better pray that thing never bugs out on you, because unless you have like a warranty plan or whatever, you are screwed. You know, like, and I get, we've heard that tired old shtick with all 3 competitors, like Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, when they raise it, it's like, oh, because of current market conditions, we have to raise the price. And yeah, the PS5 Pro is the most egregious. It's at $900, I think maybe over $900, but still. But it was like a steady increase. It wasn't like a huge jump. This Steam Deck, like the 1 terabyte model, jumping $300 is insane. And now that opens, like, everyone's talking about, GTA costing $100, and that's going to open the floodgates for other developers to do so. We're not talking about the consoles, like the things we use to play the games, that are going to be even more egregiously priced. Like this, if the 1 terabyte Steam Deck, a handheld, like, yes, it is a computer, a lower end PC in your hand, mind you, but still a computer in your hand, almost $1,000. The Steam machine, like the lowest version, is going to be $1,000 to $1,200 easily. Like the high end Steam Deck, because I know they talk about multiple SKUs for that. The high end Steam Deck, you could easily say, you could make a case for it's going to be $1,500, and I'm probably lowballing that essentially, but it is insane the price jumps for both these versions. I get it, but it almost feels like, I know Valve is essentially said, "Oh, we back, baby." Like, people love our stuff. Like, people are eating up anything we drop for them. Like, all we have to do is drop Half-Life 3, and people will go insane. You know what I mean? That short of that. But this is insane. This is them smelling themselves way too much, and now they're pretty much resetting the market. It's sort of like, when the next in the NFL when the next big, like the next like top tier quarterback or the next top tier receiver is up for for a new contract, they want to reset the market and like put the new standard there, and that increases the price because the salary cap goes up and all that kind of stuff. Valve is essentially trying to do the same thing because it's like, if we put a handheld that's 1 terabyte at almost $1,000, we can justify a home console starting at $1,000 and going up for the more high end spec versions. And PlayStation and Microsoft are sitting there going like, do we increase? Do we make ours starting off at $1,200 for the PS6 and the next Helix or whatever it is? And Parasilly over at Kind of Funny brought up this point when they were talking about it. It's like, you pray that they kick the release of the next generation of consoles down the road. Like you pray that they extend the PS5 and Xbox life cycles right now. Like I know there's rumors about next year, like 2027, 2028 might be when the next generation drops. You hope it's 2030 at the earliest at this point. I know that probably won't happen. They want to get that fresh inflow of cash in as soon as possible. But with the RAM, you almost kind of are glad for the RAM shortage right now because it's affecting everything, and I think it's halting their plans to release it earlier than they want to. I don't know, Zach. I'm kind of rambling here. I'm just like kind of speaking for the people. I want to hear your thoughts because I know you have opinions.
I said this last week, and I'll say it again, and I'll keep saying it. I think I've said it a few times before that. Gaming is now a luxury thing. It is not a entertainment thing like you would watch movies or watch anime or anything like that, because the cost of entry is so much lower on all of those things. I think it's like gaming and then books are below that. Getting into books is a little bit, you at least have libraries and all of that, but gaming is insane. And you look at this because I remember Nate brought up, it was one Tuesday night, Nate brought up wanting a Steam Deck, and I just talked about it or whatever, and pulled up this page that we have here, showing the prices and everything, and they still had the LCD on the screen, and it's like, okay, we can justify charging more by doing an OLED and all of that. And it's like, okay, I do have an OLED version of it. I did thankfully get it secondhand, so it was a lot cheaper. And I highly suggest people, and I'm sure secondhand is about to go up. But what was interesting is when we looked at this, it was out of stock. And as soon as they raised the prices, it's back in stock. They knew what was going on. They knew what was going on, and they were planning this. And it was like, because they've been out of stock for probably a month or two at this point of Steam Decks. And it's like, okay, you are inflating the want rate because you're holding on to handhelds, and then you're going to jack up the prices. This is insane. Jacking up the price $300.
Yes.
$300. It's insane. It is absolutely insane. And you're asking people to constantly pay more. And it's like, when literally this thing cost $949.
That's rent.
That's
for some
rent.
People.
Yeah, that's insane. The last place that I lived, this was more than the rent that I paid in 1 month.
Insane.
You know what I mean? That's crazy talk. And you're asking people to pay more in groceries, more in gas, and it's like, oh, well, the Strait of Hormuz, and we're in a war, and blah, 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 and RAM costs. Yeah. And it's like, you eventually have to say no. And we have, back to what we were just talking about, having backlogs. It's like, okay, it's time to just start playing our backlogs.
100%.
It's time to start paying our backlogs, enjoying the things that we own. And we were even talking about it earlier. It's like, oh, well, I want to play Resynced, and I want to play 007, and I want to play this. But then both of us are like, well, we're actually playing older games. We're playing stuff
Yeah.
that we've had and all of that. And it's like, okay, you have to decide at some point, why do you want this? Is it because you're, oh, I'm going to really utilize this? And hey, I'm guilty of it. I literally look at my Steam Deck every day that's like sitting in a chair and I don't touch it. Okay. Because I pick up my PlayStation Portal, and my PlayStation Portal, and like it did go up, is so much cheaper than the Steam Deck. So much cheaper than the Steam Deck. It doesn't do everything the Steam Deck. Don't get it twisted, sister. Right. Okay. But it comes down to, does this thing serve the purpose that I want it to? Is the cost of entry something that I'm willing to, save up for? Like, never put yourself, like, I was bad about this for a long time. Don't just buy this on a credit card just because you got to have it right now. Like, you're never going to use it the way you think you're going to use it. Like, correct. Life is going to get in the way. But you get to this point where it's like, is the Steam Deck really worth it? Is it worth $949? No, it's not worth it. And to Joe's point, it's like, you could put that towards a new computer. No, it's not handheld, but that's okay. That's okay. It's going to be so much better than what you've got on the Steam Deck here. Okay. Like, it's cool to have. I'm not saying that it's not cool to have. I love that I get to say, oh, I have a Steam Deck. I've put probably 20 hours on my Steam Deck, maybe more. I probably put like 40 hours on it. But since I've had my Portal, and again, I'm over here touting the PlayStation and all that, I've put probably 100 hours since I got it, or more, since February for my birthday. I put in a ton of time on that bad boy playing V Rising. It's like, are you going to actually use it? And I almost didn't buy the Portal because I was like, I don't really use my Steam Deck that much. But then I got the Portal on all of this. But I needless to say, $300 price increase is insane. And you can look at how much money they're making off of the Steam store. There is no reason that they have to get this crazy of an increase to cover this cost.
Correct.
It's like, yeah, RAM might be high, but it's not $300. I would love to know, and we're never going to know this information unless somebody leaks it. What is the overhead? Like, how much are they actually clearing on this? How much does it cost to make? How much does it cost, and what are they making on profit and everything? Right. Yeah, it's just crazy. Nate, I'll buy it off. I'll buy the Steam Deck off of you. Whoa. Okay. Koshi says for Ukraine, it's still worth it. Still cheap for their purpose.
Wow.
That's kind of crazy. That means the GameCube will probably be 1,000 to 1,200. I'm thinking 1,500 starting price.
Oh yeah. Easily.
I think 1,500.
Like 1,000 to 1,200 is going to be for the low end Steam Deck, or what a Steam machine or whatever it is going to be called. The 1,500 is going to be for the high end minimum starting off.
Yeah, and guys, again, depending on where you're at, it is going to be cheaper. Like, this is just Meta PCs, okay?
Yeah.
$1,100. You're getting a NVIDIA 5050 in this thing. 16 gigs of RAM. That's not that great on the RAM side of things. I don't really know AMD risers that much, but Intel, like, this one's $1,300. Intel Core i5, not that bad. And you're getting a 5060. Okay. Again,
so in other words, for an extra $200, you could get a much more powerful PC runner.
And again, like, I haven't bought a Meta PC. Like, I use what I use a NZSC or whatever computer, but it's like, for this much, and if it's starting at 1,500, this is probably good. Like, the form factor is pretty small too. Like, this is like let's see full specs. Okay, it's not telling me like the size of it, but it is a pretty small actual PC. Like that, it's not as small and cute as the other thing, but you know,
Right.
yeah, it's kind of crazy, dude. It just makes me mad.
I know.
Yeah,
It
it
makes
just
you
makes
very
me,
angry.
yeah, makes me angry. Makes me very angry. Um, well, there's that topic, Derek. Let's talk about Bungie. Bungie, man,
Mm,
it ain't looking good over in Bungie world, y'all. Because
no.
man, they keep crapping the bed. So let's talk about Bungie's future. And first up, Bungie is reportedly planning significant layoffs, while Destiny 3 is not in the works. And they did actually lay off people, right?
I think so. I don't know if the
Yeah,
numbers came out, but
yeah, yeah. And this is by Cade Onder over at an IGN.
so a new report from Bloomberg claims that Bungie will suffer, quote, significant layoffs in the near future and that Destiny 3 is not actively in the works. This comes hours after Bungie confirmed that it would be winding down support for Destiny 2 after its next update, which is set to release in June. Some fear that this was a bad sign for Bungie's future, as Destiny 2 is its most popular active game, according to Bloomberg. Bungie leadership was evaluating ways to make Destiny 2 more accessible to new players, but ultimately decided to embrace Marathon and shifted developers and resources to the extraction shooter. Bungie reportedly plans to continue pitching ideas in the Destiny universe, but there's no guarantee that they will be greenlit for full production due to a challenging market and economic concerns. Currently, Bungie doesn't have another game lined up, and there are no plans to enter development on Destiny 3 at this time. As of right now, Marathon will remain the focus for Bungie, with the studio hoping to increase player counts following a disappointing launch. Destiny 2 failed to meet expectations for Sony, resulting in a $204 million impairment loss in 2025. Similarly, Marathon's dismal sales led to a $765 million impairment loss for Sony. And Zach, obviously, I know you talked about it last week about how, the initial report was Destiny 2 is ending its support. Like, it's not going offline yet, but
Yeah,
it is, they're not going to do any more updates. They're pretty much done with Destiny. They're sunsetting their, the improvement for Destiny out. They're just going to say, hey, we're done. Like, y'all can still play. There will probably be events that'll be recycled every couple of months, but it's pretty much it. And you hate it for Bungie because the whole reason, because I know both of us played Destiny 2. I'm assuming both of us played. I know you played. I know I played Destiny 1. You were there too for Destiny 1,
yeah. I
correct?
played all the way through Destiny 1, even most of the DLC, but Destiny 2 only played vanilla. I didn't get
Yeah.
into the
No.
other junk.
Same. So, and the reason we were, even though we knew it was like it was live service before it was live service, like was a genre essentially. Like it was an online MMO, and the reason we were attracted to it was one, the name Bungie was attached to it, but two, like a lot of what the gameplay reminisced was early Halo, and Bungie was like the trendsetters. They made Halo, redefined what a first-person shooter should be, and at that same time, 343 was not doing what we needed to with the Halo IP, and so we're like, oh, this is not the same, but this is very Halo-like. Let's get into it, and of course, Destiny 1 was pretty much like the start of Sea of Thieves, bare bones, like not much there. Recycled concept, the same events recycled every couple of weeks. But then, like, of course, it added and it kept improving, and Destiny 2 was became a force to be reckoned with for a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't take over the gaming sphere, but in terms of like the live service first person shooter, like competitive play, like it really did its thing. But now, of course, it's doing this, and now you face an like this is in the, like there was rumors that they weren't doing Destiny 3, and then earlier this year they talked about, oh, were whispers that, oh, there's pitching up ideas for Destiny 3 because Marathon wasn't doing what it needed to do, and we were all like, no shock there. Like, Bungie was like in disarrayment at that point. It felt like, but now you see these reports, and yeah, they're going to be focusing on Marathon, trying to pump the numbers up, and whatnot. But you kind of fear that one of the OGs essentially in gaming that like were trendsetters back in the day might close. That's a real reality. That's a real sentence you could actually say, and it's insane to think that.
Well, when Bungie has literally caused impairment loss of over $1 billion or around $1 billion,
Yep.
when you're supposed to be making money and we
Yep.
brought you in for a very
For
specific thing.
this.
Yeah, it's like you're supposed to be the live service people, and everything that you've touched has just turned to poo. Like
Yeah.
everything that they've touched since they've been with Sony has just not gone the way that it should. And
No.
when you're looking at as a business owner, which of course that's what Sony is a business, you have to make decisions where it's like, hey, okay, I need you to stop worrying with Destiny 2 because it's not making money. Final Shape should have been the end of all of this. And I need you to somehow get Marathon to actually make money. So what are they doing? They're trying to bring PvE into the game. And it's like, okay, so now you're going to shoehorn PvE into a live service
Yeah.
game that is all about, extraction. And it's like, that doesn't make sense. And like the universe does look interesting, but it also like it has a very cool wrapper, but it's like, how far does that go? Are they trying to do what they did with Destiny 1 where you had to read the little data things that you collected to actually
get
like
the story?
Yeah, and I'm just like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like the reason why people love Halo so much is two parts. They loved the story because it was super cool and totally different than anything else that we were getting. And then they loved the multiplayer. And we have totally gone like the opposite way. And it's like the reason why Halo Infinite did okay for a little bit was because the multiplayer was there and was solid.
Correct.
And Destiny, like the gunplay in Destiny was always solid. It didn't matter what you were doing, it was always solid. And the little bit that I did on the server slam of Marathon, I was like, this is not it, Chief. Like I feel like I'm I'm just a duck out there like trying to survive. And it's just I don't know. I don't have faith that they can turn the ship around. I feel like they've hit the iceberg and they're pretending that everything is fine.
So my question before we move on to the next Bungie story here is, what is more likely? Because again, now let's preface it by saying that PlayStation has spent billions with a B dollars when they acquired Bungie, so you expect a certain level of excellence when you spend that kind of money. But what's more likely, that they shutter Destiny? Because, if they're going to suffer significant layoffs in this one, that's going to be just round one. They're going to hollow out Bungie until they're a skeleton crew, essentially. What's more likely? Are they going to just close Bungie, or are they going to pretty much make them a support studio?
I don't think there'll be a support studio. What they need to do is they need to get rid of leadership at Bungie. They need to not just handhold the crappy leadership that they've got. They need to gut it like a pig and
hostile takeover.
Well, it's like they freaking own them. It's not a hostile takeover when you own a company.
Mean, but like hostile takeover of like PlayStation is in there like monitoring them 24/7.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I trust, let's say this person still worked there. I trust Shuhei Yoshida, full of grace, to do the job. Okay, I'm going to have him as the overseer of Bungie until they right the ship, and I'm going to tap somebody that is in there that people trust, that knows the company like the back of their hand and can get the job done. And Shuhei and this person, if it's not close going to be Shuhei, it will be somebody else. They're going to have a roadmap. They're going to build out what this is going to be like. and we're going to put a 10-year roadmap together, see what we need to do, find the project that's actually going to make us money, and have a plan for Marathon as well, because that's the game that's out right now. It literally came out this year, and I feel like it's an afterthought. It's like you have to have somebody in place that knows how to manage a company effectively, because I feel like ever since they left Microsoft, it's been, they've luckily like fell into like different things, but I feel like the leadership has just been utter crap, and they've gotten themselves in sticky situations and then got out of them and then got into other sticky situations. And it's like, for them to literally go from Microsoft to Activision, from Activision to Sony, it's like clearly like, and you know, being independent between some of those phases,
Yeah.
it's like there is some literal like cultural things there that need to be fixed, that might not have been there originally, but the people that are, you know, running the ship right now have the wrong kind of culture, and clearly that's what we're seeing when you lose
Correct.
$1 billion in your impairment. I mean, with like your assessments and all of this, like expectations, it's like, this is ridiculous. But we've got more. We've got more Bungie news, y'all. Because not only is Destiny 2 support done, not only did they have layoffs, but Bungie staff didn't know that Destiny 2 support was coming to an end until the public announcement. And this is by Michael Kripe at IGN.
The quote, vast majority of Bungie staff was reportedly unaware of the plans to discontinue support for Destiny 2 until the announcement was made public last week. The alleged insight into the goings-on at the former Halo developer came from a Forbes report and followed last week's news that it would publish one final content update next month on June 9th. It was an announcement that shook an industry that had watched the studio launch its latest project, Marathon, just months ago, and it apparently came as a surprise to many of the varied developers involved, too. The site said that, according to the sources, the quote, vast majority of Bungie did not know about Destiny 2 support being dropped right up until it was publicly announced. The limited number of teams privy of the information beforehand included some that had already begun working on the final content and others who had already transitioned over to Marathon. Excuse me. A decision to end support for Destiny is said to have been made earlier this year, with the rest of the team left to continue working on future updates like the now canceled The Shattered Cycle content. The exact number of staff who only learned about the shift upon its public announcement is unclear, but Forbes' sources say that the few who were aware of the impending changes begged leadership to tell more people at the studio. A petition calling on Sony to greenlight Destiny 3 has already sprouted in the last few days, and at the time of this piece's publication has amassed more than 200,000 signatures. So, and this is not the first instance we've seen of this. Like, we have seen several reports, whether it was layoffs, whether it was game cancellations and studio closures, that the people at the ground level were were found out when the rest of the public knew. And this is very, I don't like that. Of course, layoffs and closures, we've talked ad nauseum about how much we dislike. It's very scummy and all that kind of stuff. Too much corporate, overthrow. But this I don't like. It's becoming more of a trend, and I'm not liking it. Now, yes, do you have to tell the janitor, like the janitor's dog, all that? Like, not necessarily, but the people who are making them, like, you tell them a month, like you said earlier this year, you tell them like a month before you have these decisions, like, hey, we want this or like you tell them after this conversation, like, hey, or you come up to your boss and you're like, hey, I'm thinking about this great content update for summer for Destiny 2, and you're like, cool, all that, and meanwhile you're in the back of your head like, it's not going to see the light of day. Like, we're not going to get that far. We're not going to make it to summer with Destiny 2 at this point. And it's very scummy, and it feels like very archaic, because I remember back in the olden days, like, this was like, maybe not when the public knew, but you found out when everyone else knew, you know what I mean, at the place you worked at. And I don't like this, and I don't know why this is becoming, like, this is cycled back through the workforce. It is like you have a duty to to take care of your employees. You have a duty to now. Yes, do you have to pay everyone like a stipend? Like maybe not. I mean, it depends on your situation and how much financial trouble the studio's in. Like, but at the same time, the very basement. It's sort of like when you have customer service and you come through the door of a you come through the door and you're not greeted. It's the most basic thing that you just do that you need to do, and that when you don't do it, it's like, come on, man, like what are you doing? Like if you can't do this, you're not going to be trusted to do other things. If you can't be allowed to tell your employees who have poured blood, sweat, and tears into this game for over a decade in this instance, of this franchise, what are you going to do? Like you're just pretty much like, if you're okay with this, you're okay with just basically like, hey, you've been loyal to us, you've been here since day one, but we got to cut your salary by 90%, and we're not giving you room to negotiate. So it's like, if you're okay with that scummy behavior, you're going to be okay with other things down the road, and it's just going to keep getting worse and worse until we basically demand change. But I digress. That's my rant. This is terrible nonetheless. Like, the finding this out, and it's like, again, obviously, with when stuff like this happens, you expect significant layoffs, which we did talk about in the previous story. Again, I'm intrigued to see how many people are going to get laid off. Like, I want to know I'm hoping we find out the exact numbers within the next week. But Zach, this is just all kinds of not good.
Yeah, this is like 3 sets of layoffs since the end of 2024, I want to say, from Bungie. They
Yeah.
laid off a bunch of people at the end of 2024. They had a big layoff in 2025, and then we're getting another layoff. So they're doing the GameStop method, where they just slowly
Yeah.
bleeding
Yeah.
themselves.
Half cash, half stock.
It's half cash, half stock.
you know but when you look at this, it feels like it feels very knee-jerk reaction to a lot of
Mhm.
things, and it's like, oh, I don't trust people to keep their mouth shut. And
Yeah.
I being in different companies, working in different places, it's like, okay, I understand when I was a decision maker,
Mhm.
when I was a band director and everything, it was like, I didn't tell everybody everything. I told, it's like, hey, we're doing this. But as soon as I made a decision, I let everybody know, because my decision affected 160 people, like kids, their families, and then my staff. So it wasn't like, oh, I'm going to just wait until I'm going to inconvenience you, because when I was early in my career, I would do that, and it would just be
Mhm.
utter trash and crap that I would have to deal with, because my decision affected so many people, blah, 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 blah.
Yep.
So it's like, you learn, it's like, this is just how you deal with people. You deal with them with respect. And Amy has a really, good comment here. There's so much lack of respect for employees. Higher ups don't see people, they see
Mhm.
cogs in the machine. Yeah,
Which, I mean,
exactly.
that mentality has never gone away. I mean, people have
No,
been saying
no.
that for years, but it's become more of an issue now. Like, over the last 3 years, I feel like, like, especially last year to this year, with more of like mass layoffs, studio closures, and just like thousands of people at one time just getting laid off.
Yeah.
And it's tiring. It's at some point, it's going to be like, what is the straw that's going to break the camel's back to basically cause change? And I get, like, with everything else going on in the world, like we just talked about it with the Steam Deck, everything price wise is going up, and it's just like, you feel like you're getting, catching strays every which way you turn around, and
Yeah.
it's frustrating.
Yeah. It definitely feels like,
Hide the money, y'all. There's poor people on the loose.
hide the
Hey.
money, y'all. There's poor people on the loose. That's literally how it feels. It feels like, all right, the poor people, like, y'all have no rights or decision making power. So we're just gonna do whatever we want, and you're gonna take it. You're gonna take it. You can't do anything about it.
You're gonna smile and ask us for more.
Yeah, you're gonna ask us for more. Yeah. Go on now.
Get.
Yeah. It's disturbing to see what's going on in the gaming industry, and I'm gonna call it here, y'all. The bubble will burst within the next 2 years.
Yeah.
The bubble will burst in the next 2 years. People are going to stop buying. They're going to see gaming stuff where it's like, oh, why aren't we selling anymore? Let's raise the price. And it's like, I understand big ticket items, like, you know, where you're selling like a $12,000 package on something or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That is not this. You're a volume kind of entity. You are not a big ticket item thing where you're, you know, oh, well, I just got $100,000 deal because they're going to be working with us for a year or whatever. That ain't how this works in this industry.
Nope.
Your games have to be affordable for the masses, or they cannot buy them. And if they cannot buy them, you make no money. When literally it was like 60 something percent only buy like one game per year, where like the smaller percent are the ones that are buying multiple games a year. It's like, okay, what happens to when those people like Derek and I that aren't buying multiple games a year, where we're just going to focus on our backlog, you know? And it's like, we don't get well, I do get a few game codes, but they're not AAA game codes. You know what I mean? And it's like, okay, like I'm glad that I get some game codes. Like, you know, I'll try out different things and all that. Cats and cups, my dude, so freaking good. But but I say all of that to get to this point. It's gonna bust, and people we're gonna see like comics in the 90s. It's just gonna fall apart, unfortunately. But you know what's not gonna fall apart, Derek? The Patreon quick hits, because we are here live right now bringing you the Patreon quick hits because they're brought to you by our wonderful patrons. These people went over and put their hard-earned dollar down to help us make awesome content like this tonight. And there are people that are over there that got free memberships as well to help support us, to help put us into a position where we get to do cool things like this each and every week. We're 1.5 person business. So thank you to everybody that went over and supported the Nerd Cave. You can go over and support us by getting your very own Nerd Cave membership to help us continue to make awesome shows just like this one. Eat, Sleep, Anime, and our Tuesday live streams. Become part of the ship, part of the crew at patreon.com/nerdcave. That's patreon.com/nerdcave. Now for the Patreon quick hits.
First up, Capcom exec says it's not using AI to create art, but to help unleash the potential of creators. Rumor, Virtua Fighter leak reveals Crossroads subtitle. Hasbro has spent $1 billion with a B dollars making video games, and not one of them is a live service product. Break-In trademarked by Sony ahead of State of Play next week. New Crazy Taxi game teased in series' first social media post in 7 years. GTA 5 sales top 230 million copies, while Red Dead Redemption 2 passes 85 million. Infinity Ward confirms Call of Duty 2026 is a Modern Warfare game, which that just got officially unveiled today as Modern Warfare 4. Warhorse confirms new Kingdom Come game is an open-world RPG set to launch next fiscal year, which that in itself is crazy because they just put out a Game of the Year contender last year. Take-Two CEO Strauss Zelnick believes in the pull of GTA 6 even amid rising cost of console gaming. Take-Two is looking to launch 29 games by 2029. Strauss Zelnick also insists Red Dead Online has been immensely successful and long-lasting. After rumors spread, Riot Games says Vanguard anti-cheat is not bricking PCs. Helldivers 2 is getting a Warhammer 40,000 Legendary Warbond. Splitgate dev 1047 Games announces Titanfall-inspired movement shooter called M+. Rocket League is to receive its first game engine tune-up in 11 years as Psyonix teases Unreal Engine 6 update. A petition calling on Sony to greenlight Destiny 3 has over 120,000 signatures and already is rising fast, which, of course, in the article we talked about, the last one, it's now at 200,000. Destiny 2 fans plan mass protests to crash the servers and beat Marathon's all-time player record. PS Plus Extra and Premium gets Destiny 2 on the same day its final content update is released. Tekken 8 adding Yujiro Hanma from the Baki series as its second guest character in early 2027. Avalanche Studios job listings reveal development of multiplayer live service game using Unreal Engine. Disney says we haven't seen the last of Star Wars Jedi series Cal Kestis yet. PS Plus free games for June have been announced, with the selections being Grounded for the PlayStation 4, or PlayStation 5, excuse me, Warhammer 40,000 Darktide, and Nickelodeon's All-Star Brawl 2. The PS5 exclusive Destruction All-Stars has been delisted and is shutting down on November 25th. Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resync's modern-day story has been replaced with what-if scenario riffs for Edward Kenway. Following that, Resynced will feature 8 new endgame missions that pit Edward Kenway against a historical pirate hunter. Remedy's new CEO says Alan Wake and Control should have sold more. Maverick Games looks set to reveal debut title on same day as the State of Play. Maybe that's what Break-In is being trademarked as. Rumor: Sonic Frontiers Definitive Edition release date has been set for June 23rd. Dragon Quest XII's development was restarted from scratch, and it has a new name titled Flames of Fate. New Dragon Quest Monsters game has been announced, with Dragon Quest XI's coming to Switch 2 on September 24th. Blizzard boss won't rule out Overwatch animated series that the fans have been wanting for years. No Man's Sky launches the Swarm update and adds mysterious Death Star-like construct to the game. And lastly, Resident Evil Requiem demo is now out.
It just took us a while to get that demo.
I know, 3 months, better late than never.
Yeah, I'm glad that there's at least one out there for people to try and everything. When I think about next week, we've got PlayStation State of Play, we've got Summer Games Fest, and then Xbox's thing on Sunday.
Yeah, we gonna be eating.
And
unfortunately, I gotta miss that.
You're gonna be missing it, Derek. What do you want to see from each one? Just like one game that you really want to see something from PlayStation, from Summer Game Fest, and one from Xbox.
Of course, the easy one, Xbox. Just give me. I know we're getting a direct afterwards, but give me a release date for E-Day. Like even if it ends up being early next year, that's fine. Just give me a release date at this point. So I'm excited for that. Outside of that, I want to see more Clockwork Revolution. I want to see that. Now that could also appear at Summer Game Fest. Who knows? PlayStation, of course, we're going to get Wolverine is going to be like a central focus. I would also like to see maybe a hint at. I know in the initial like illegal recording of why do I always for Christopher Judge, like at that Comic-Con talking to that fan, that we'll see what Santa Monica's been up to in late summer, like around September. But I would like just a tease. I would like just a tease of what to expect. You know what I mean? But I also think it's time that we see something else on Intergalactic as well.
Yep.
I feel like that because this feels like the big state of play for them right now, especially leading into the hype up Summer Game Fest. As far as Summer Game Fest, that's always hard because you get a plethora of stuff from Jeff Keighley. But obviously, it would be a nice little deep dive. I think like an easy layup would be see like a deep dive. And again, probably not because they beat to their own drum, a deep dive into GTA 6 gameplay. But I also
feel like that's a long shot.
Oh yeah, because Rockstar will just drop they could drop a trailer in like tonight at midnight, and it'll do like 1 million views in 5 minutes,
Yeah.
um, with like no notice. I want, if I had to pick from Summer Game Fest. Oh, it's so hard to do third party stuff, man. Like, cause you could literally see anything, and
Yeah.
right now, like this late at night, my brain's fried, and I'm just like, I'm trying to rack my brain with like what I would like to see. You give me yours, and I'll think about it for a second.
Okay, so for me, of course, I want E-Day from
Yeah.
Xbox and everything. I'd love to see more of that. I would like to see Fable get locked down on a date for this year.
Oh,
That would be
yep.
nice to see Playground just like utterly own this year and just,
Yeah.
knock it out of the park. For PlayStation, of course, I'm looking forward to Wolverine, but I
Yeah.
would like to see, I would like to see Intergalactic. I don't know if we will. I know we'll
Yeah.
see some of like Horizon Hunters Gathering there.
Oh yeah.
Not necessarily something I want to see, but it'll be there.
Yeah.
And then I like see what we saw this week from Media Molecule, that resume and that whole story. Show it. Like if you got something, show it. It's been a few years since you put out Dreams and everything, so it would be pretty dope.
Okay, it's not going to be earth shattering, but just because, again, now this could show up at the state of play as well. Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra. It has been so long since we've seen anything on that, and it is rumored for some time in fall, supposedly. I think it'll get delayed, and I think that'll probably be when we see it again, is it'll say, hey, we're delaying it to early 2027. So I feel like, just again, because we talked about a couple weeks ago, Amy Hennig's ideas. Like,
Yep.
I want to see her get a win again. Like, give me something to care about this game. So Marvel 1943 would be something nice to see at Summer Game Fest.
I'm in between these two that I would really want to see. Either John Wick, the game that we saw like that trailer from. I would love to see more of that, like actual gameplay, because like what we saw was like CGI and all of that. Does look cool. I'm down for it. But then getting to see Control Resonant, like more of it, because we got a little bit of gameplay, but that is coming out this year. This is the time to show it. Will it be at State of Play? If it's not at State of Play, it will definitely be at Summer Games Fest. For me, for Summer Games Fest, go ahead.
I was going to say another one that popped up that you could see at Summer Game Fest or Xbox that we haven't seen in a while, because it just got a tease and a logo. Blade.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was an Xbox show that we saw.
Yeah, it's and I think it's whether it's timed or not, we'll see. But it is a Xbox exclusive.
Yeah. It might be at Summer Games Fest, but the Tomb Raider Atlantis, Legacy of Atlantis.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because we got that at Game Awards.
Yeah. So seeing that, I think would be pretty dope to see what they're going to be doing with that. I want to see OD. I want to see what Kojima is doing with OD, because the last time we did get a tease for it, and it looked freaking scary, but it looked amazing at the same time. So it's like, okay, let's see this. Let's see what you and Jordan Peele are putting together. What kind of horror thing you're doing, but I think we might see OD, but I don't know. But those are the things that I would like to see this week from all three of them.
Yeah. So we going to be eating regardless. And of course, it's always hard to predict new IP because it could be anything. You know what I mean?
It could be anything. Fair Games will be there. Fair Game $. Fair Game $. Is going to be there too. I can feel it.
I know. Just because I have to crap or get off the pot with that one, but
Yeah.
that's one is like if I woke up and it's like it's canceled. Cool, thank you.
I feel at this point they gotta ship it. Bane says Midnight Club 3 Dub Edition remastered. You never know. Who made Midnight Club? Was that Rockstar?
Yes.
Okay. That would be cool. I doubt it, but
Yeah.
We talked last week. I want your thoughts. 2-minute thoughts on this, Derek.
Okay.
Infamous getting new games or getting remastered. What is your thought?
I think because of so much time, I think a remaster is an early thing just to test the waters, because I think that's what Crash Bandicoot did with the Trilogy remaster. They wanted to see if they still had a fan base before they just talked about another game. And so I think that the time is right. Like I know with superhero fatigue and TV shows, but again, like that thing is like, it's not superhero fatigue, it's just bad movie and TV show fatigue. So feel like it would be a right time to remaster, especially on the PlayStation 5, and then pitch ideas about doing a new one. So I feel like a remaster is the easy layup on that one.
I like the idea.
And just do the first two. Like, I didn't hate Second Son, but give the first two were obviously what put it on the map.
Yeah.
Just give a reason to remind people why the series is good.
Yeah, I think Cole was a much better, main character than what we got with
Delson.
Yeah, Delson. Bane says, "I'm really hyped for the Witcher 3 DLC." Now, Bane,
Yep.
are you a huge Witcher person? So I jump into Witcher 3 and play it on my portal and get consumed and only talk about it like I've been talking about Death Stranding like nonstop. I've been playing that. It's like Death Stranding, V Rising, and now Alan Wake 2. Those are my like 3 that I'm in love with right now. Yeah, let us know. Derek, I know they're defunct like United Front Games, but the ones that brought us Sleeping Dogs.
Yeah,
I would love,
know, dude. Like,
I would love a
that
new
is such a
Sleeping
missed
Dogs.
opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah.
Square Enix placing unreal expectations on a new IP, expected to sell. It sold 1 million copies, I think, and Square Enix is like, it's not enough. Like, how much did you expect it to do?
That's pretty much Square Enix, and like it literally could take the whole GDP of the world, and it's like not enough. Not enough.
Half cash, half stock.
Again, from Ron Funchi's mouth himself.
Hide the money, y'all. There's poor people on the loose.
that and half cash, half stock are now in the
Staples.
zeitgeist. Yeah. Bates says yes, one of my favorite. I've 100% it DLC and all. Wow.
That's crazy.
You are Geralt of Rivia.
Exactly.
But are you the Henry Cavill or the Liam Hemsworth version of it?
Nah, you gotta give it. You gotta give him Henry Cavill.
Well, there you have it, everybody. That is our show this week. Next week, we got a lot of cool stuff planned for you. I'm going to be doing the show solo. Derek's leaving me next week.
I know. I've got responsibilities.
He's got responsibilities. Family does come first, y'all. So I'll be helming the ship by myself. But it's going to be a good time. We're going to have a lot of fun. Tuesday we'll be live. I probably will be discussing the state of play pretty heavily during that stream and everything. But it's going to be a great time. Y'all don't want to miss that. We might try to finish up Expedition 33. We got other games that we need to play. But thank y'all so much for watching tonight. This has been Zach
and Derek.
Y'all have a blessed week. Bye-bye.